What's up, everybody? This is Colin over at Holistic Heritage Homestead, and today I'm going to be talking to you about strawberry plants, in particular how to handle and manage the runners that they put out. So the one we're working with is the Ozark Beauty Strawberry, and if you caught my top 10 tips for a beginner gardener video, I had mentioned it's very good whenever possible to consider native plants. This breed was developed in Arkansas, actually, and it's phenomenal. It's an ever-bearing variety, so you can get 2 yields of fruit per year. You can get like a late spring, early summer, and you could also get your fall, right? Some people recommend on the initial, like the first flowering, you could remove those to have the plant focus on roots and growing more green, right? So that your first harvest in the fall will actually be a larger harvest. You don't need to do that with this variety. I'm not doing it. This was our experimental starter to see how we like the plant, and we love it so far. We have a bunch of grow bags with a whole bunch on the property with these, and they're doing really well. They like good watering. I recommend something that drains well. As soon as they start sending out runners, you want to up, in my experience, you want to up the amount of water, because they're going to really need that. And as long as you give it enough water, it doesn't really burn or leaf scorch that much. It's very hardy. These things can go to like negative 30 degrees in the winter. So, you know, the Ozarks had a rough winter this year, so these things will handle that no problem. And the reason why I like to manage the runners as opposed to letting them just do their own thing, obviously, you're going to be, I believe in, if you caught that video, intensive growing or crowd growing, but these were 2 plants. I let 1 plant stay in the pot just for fun, just to see how they would do in a crowded situation. They are fine, but depending upon how the sun moves across the sky, they're going to partially block out some of that much needed sunlight for this one. So the runners are the way that the mommy plant makes its babies, right? So I recommend, just like with children, the longer the child stays in the womb, the healthier, the better it is, because they can get that nutrition from the mom. So the runners are kind of like an umbilical cord, kind of like a placenta, right? So until these plants start to really produce their own roots, you'll see these little bumps, these little nodes that start to come out. Once that happens, they're ready to produce their own roots. Before that, you can let them just kind of hang. You can leave them in the pots. You can do whatever you want to do with them, because they're not viable or strong on their own. Once you see that starting to happen, you want to take stress off the mommy plant, right? Get this thing to develop its own roots, okay? Once you do that, technically you can cut these. Anywhere you see a runner, you can just cut, and then it becomes its own plant. I personally, with personal experience, don't think that's a good idea. I think you should let it stay with its mommy as long as possible, being that this root system is very established. This is going to pull more nutrients and mine more nutrients, right, than these baby root systems. I recommend either before you overwinter them, or during the winter, you could do it then, but I recommend before you overwinter, that would be a good time to cut the cord, okay, and let them be independent. Until then, there's no reason to, because they're getting water and nutrients on their own. They're also getting from their mom. It's going to produce much stronger plants. And to prove that, we started with 2 plants that turned into now 16 and counting. I'm probably going to end up with 18 to 20 plants off of 2 easily. And that, again, this is our experimental pot just to see if we like them, and that's not really trying. Also, if you caught the top 10 tips for beginner gardeners, I said to always make sure you have your planting medium ready and have that fertilizer in there off the jump. You want to give them a good start. You don't want to be reactionary and see that they're failing, or that they're really not doing well with pest pressure because they're weak, right? A stronger plant actually produces chemicals and compounds that actually ward off certain insects and things that can cause problems. So get your fertilizer in your growing medium. And a really cool trick to get these things to root out that I learned is go to the dollar store, pick up some clothesline clips. You probably get a whole bunch of these for $1, right? These are awesome because otherwise they're not really going to stay in there, even if you cover it with soil. It's very tricky. They're always going to fall out, especially when you water it. But check this out. Make life easy, right? Obviously, I got my fertilizer in there. I got a well-draining medium here. Clip. That will hold that in there. Now, I can bring that soil flush to make sure that it has a happy home. As soon as it starts to get some roots, it should hold pretty good on its own. Take that out. Independent strawberry plant. So I like this because if you have a sprawling bed or a garden bed, if you let the runners kind of do their own thing and self-plant, you're going to have to dig them up. This way I can put them exactly where I want to. And again, we talked about beginner tips. Mulching is very important. So this gives me the ability to space them apart a little further, depending upon which is a stronger or larger plant, so it's not shading out the other plants. And it gives me plenty of room for the strawberries in particular to get lots of mulch down. Very important to get lots of mulch down before the winter. It'll help protect the root system. It'll also start to degrade and break down so that in your coming season, that spring, that summer, the next year, you're already going to have lots of nutrition in that soil. So I hope this was helpful for you. Consider this variety. We love it so far. It's one of the most popular ever-bearing varieties in the world, I think, right now. And yay, listen, save yourself some money, save yourself some time, and save yourself a lot of headache trying to put these things in there. These will help you a lot. Old clips for clotheslines. Get your runners going. And folks, don't take them away from their mother too soon. Let them stay with mommy. Let them get the nutrition, all that love that they need, all right? Hope you got something out of this video. Like, subscribe, hit us with some love in the comment section. Thanks for your time today. Take care.